Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Natalie. I thought I'd quickly show you, while the house is quiet, the Little Koala Adventures range. So we've got the basics, the standard koala, we've got the tags and tickets embossed die cuts. We've also got the embossed die cuts. So this is tags and tickets, so this has sentiments, it has these big label things, and this just has a whole bunch of very cute little koalas. And then, we won't go through this, but this also has just a kit that makes up a whole bunch of cards. Like you have the template, it has a like how to do template in there for 6 cards, I think it is. But there's heaps of things available to make other cards, but we won't look at those today. Let's have a quick look at this. This is Little Koala Basics. So this has, even though that is gorgeous, it has much more background sort of pieces. Like you have these gorgeous ones, as I said, but you have a lot of backgrounds. So of course you come, see, I love that. This is just, I love this colouring. That'd be really good for photos too, if you're someone that took a lot of photos and that sort of thing. So gorgeous. So it has one side that's a little bit more, shall I say, busy, with a lot of images and everything else. And then one side that is much more muted. So even that, it's quite busy. I don't mean busy in a bad thing. Okay, it's just, there's a lot of things on the page, and then you've got one that is very monochromatic or similar sort of light toning, which is much more soft. Okay, so that is the basics. Then we've got the little, and there is 18 double-sided pattern papers, and there's 3 designs of each. So I'm just going to go through quickly and show you the first one. So these have, so this is the basics. This one has all the little cutter parts that you can include for your focal image. That's really gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous. They have the last, I don't know, it's been a good 6, maybe 6+ months. They've been doing sort of the little bit bigger. So when they get shrunk down, this is a really good size for card makers. Whereas some of the other ones, it's much more smaller for card making. Anyway, lovely soft greens and browns and little koalas. And that is, oh my gosh, squirrel. This is sort of the standard more card making, but they're a lot bigger. So you've got the bigger ones, and then these are a much better size when they're in 12 by 12. So, but they're small, you can still use them. I'm just saying, that's gorgeous, that's stunning, and that's very sweet. So they are repeated through the packaging. And then we have the embossed die cuts, which is what I tend to use with my cards. That's just, and lots of little koalas. They're just really eucalyptus, gorgeous little eucalyptus reefs, more koalas, ballerina, great for little birthdays, even for Aussies making cards for overseas, or even I have an aunt in America, she loves Aussie sort of thing, so this would be really good for her to get, and for any, as I call it, expat from Australia overseas, be really great. Anywho, the last one that we're going to go through quickly is the Koala Adventure tags and tickets. So as I said, this has a lot of labels. I suppose they're called tags. That would be things, to me that's tags. Little tickets, just to really embellish your cards upwards. So they're gorgeous. See, some of them have the little hole punched already and some of them do not. So you can easily punch another hole in that. Not a problem. Even this one has a couple of holes and that one does not. that one does. Anyway, I'm gonna have a think. I'm gonna work out what I'm gonna do, and then we'll be back shortly with the card that we're gonna make for today. Okay, so what we're gonna make today is a step down card sort of thing. It's going to be a little bit on the sides. So I have a piece of cardstock here that is 8.5 by 5.5. So it's sort of going to be a little bit more American card bases sort of thing, but that's okay. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm just going to come down a little bit. I'm not measuring at this point from the top to the bottom sort of thing, but all I'm going to do is come down and make a little line at 3 inches and come down the bottom again to 3 inches. Now I'm going to line up those 2 dots that I've done, and I'm going to make another one on that line. If I can get it on that line, I'm going to make another one at 1 inch. So my dot is here, and my dot is when I've just moved it. My other dot is here. Okay, so that's going to give me an idea of where is my 3 inch line. So what I want to do is line up the ruler to those 2 dots and make another 2 dots, one at 1 inch and one at 6.5. And what I'm going to do is very lightly, oops, I've just gone past it. Very lightly join up those 2 lines. If you had one of those cutters that have the scoring and cutting tool sort of thing, you could, you know, they're not guillotines, they're just little trimmers that have the little blades. You could line this up on 3 inches. So 1, 2, 3. Can you see that? Yep, 3. And then you could push your tool down, come down to 1 inch, push your tool down to there and score it and cut it from 1 inch down to 6 inch. So that is the first step. So what I've done, at this point, I've already done it. So that's what you're looking at to have done. So the next thing we're going to do is bring this, mine always falls apart, I don't know why, and it's not going together, so I need to play with that a little bit. So what I'm going to do then is with the 3 inch on this side, which should be in that one there, 3 inch on that side, so 3 inch, can't say, 3 inch on the bottom, and we're going to get our scoring tool and we're going to score, oops, that way, a 1 inch gap needs to be on your left hand side. So what we're going to do, so you're 3 inches on the bottom. So what we're going to do is score from 1 inch down to that cut line. Okay, just down to that cut line. Then we're going to get a score. So we've got 1 inch, we've got 2, that'll be all right. 2 inch, just press a little bit harder so you don't get those lines, but that's going to be hidden so it's all good. I know, me. 3 1/4. Again, all of them just down to that cut line. We have 4.5, and then we have 6.5. So we're going to have 4 lines, score lines, right down to that cut line. So we're going to have that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, we've got 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 1/4, 4.5, and 6.5. Hang on, I forgot one. So we've got that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it around and we're going to score this at 4 1/4. And that is just going to go to the cut line as well. Okay, so that's going to be our fold of our card. Let me show you. So we've got a fold line of there. And then this one is going to be a mountain fold, like this. It's a mountain fold because it's going up, okay? Mountain fold, valley fold, and it just needs a little bit of help. It's okay. Mountain, valley, and a mountain. Just give those a good burnish. So they are a little bit stepped down, staggered. So that's how your card is going to sit, but like that obviously. But you can see this is going to give us a little sort of scene. I think it'll be really cute. It's going to be really cute. Okay, so I rotated it around to the other side. I'm just showing you here how I did that. It's basically just flip it inside out. That's all. People came home, so we have to jump over. So we have these pieces here. I have leave a link down below on what everything is. This one is 4 inches by 2 3/4. The little koala one is 3 inches by 3 1/4, 2 1/2. I'm going to leave you all these bits and pieces down on the blog. We're not going to use this tiny little piece. This is the front little step up, the front of our panel. So I'm just going to use a little sentiment, and that is out of the tags and tickets. I have a little bit of pumice stone, and I'm just going around the edges. The happy birthday has the tiniest little bit of embossing sort of thing, so I'm not too fussed with that. But it will give it a little bit of the pumice stone around the edges, so it's not so stark white. All of these pieces are going to be just the front piece. So the back step is 2 1/4 by 1 3/4, and the front panel is 2 by 1 1/2. The middle is 2 1/4 by 1, and then we've got 2 3/4. And then I got to look at my paperwork over the other side. On the very front step, we have 2 1/4 by 3/4, and the designer series paper that we've got is 2 by 1/2 inch if we were using that. But the happy birthday with a little ticket pretty much fits in perfectly. Gluing all those down with a little bit of just liquid glue. I am a liquid glue girl. This card is a little bit hard to decorate and show you at the same time. So I will leave all the measurements and everything over on my blog, and you can check that out. I have 2 pieces of acetate that are basically, the length is the length of the scrap that I had, and I have pretty much cut those into, I think they're 1/4 inch wide, so they're not very wide whatsoever, and I'm going to use 2 of those. Although, spoiler, the aeroplane is going to be cut off, and he's going to have another piece added to him. So this is going to be a little bit difficult to see to show you where I'm doing everything and see it for myself. That's the problem with standing fun folds, really. The koala that is underneath the one there that has a bit of branch cut off. I probably shouldn't have done that, but even then, I'm going to adhere him onto the card's base as he is. Now, from the front, you can't see it, but when you move it around or anything else, you can see it's cut off. So off camera afterwards, when I decided it was annoying me, I will put some piece, another little florally element. I'm going to remove these a few times, honestly. This is going to be moved once. The other one's going to be moved again. It's what it is. I am pretty much lying the card flat and trying to make sure that the top of my balloon, top of my aeroplane is not going above the card base. Here's my little thing. And what it's going to do, this is because they're not a straight up and down, they're angled as in mountains. This little element is going to hold my balloon up. You can see there, it sort of holds it up a little bit higher. But the aeroplane is going to be moved as well what can I say? I'm going to play around with this little koala. Now, you could add your elements to the front of the mountain, the front of the fold, or you can use them on the back. That is up to you. I like the idea of having my balloon and my little aeroplane up in the sky. I thought that was rather cute. I've cut through the middle one of my, they're not like bouquets, but like almost like what would you have in the middle of a dining room table. This way I can use him for something else, basically. Adhere him down with a little bit of glue, and that's going to finish off our sentiment area. And I just wanted to put this tiny little bit of eucalyptus that I trimmed off. He's going to need to be moved because he's not going to sit properly where I've placed him. So play with the card. When you've added your elements, play with your card. The koala, if you really wanted to fold him open, he's not going to, the koala, which koala? Which koala, Nat? I don't know. The koala at the very, very back. That is right near right where I'm working now. If you were to open the card up really far, it's going to bend his ear a little bit. I'm fine with that because 99% of the time the card is going to be sitting on a shelf or a mantle, and it sits the way it sits right there on the mantle, on the shelf. It's going to be awesome. So I have another little bouquet, and I'm just trying to fill up the area a little bit. You could obviously decorate to as much or as little as you would like. I like to fill it out a little bit. I have a little bit of the clear crystal mix to decorate my front. I am going to come back, and before I glue those down, well, I sort of went back to my embossed die cuts and figured out that I wanted this flowery piece. It's not stuck down at the moment. It's just there. So we'll glue that down using my phone to keep it flat. It helps. It helps. We all do these things to help. And this little flower, I've only really used the flower and the sentiment here from the tags and tickets. Everything else is from the die cuts, the embossed die cuts, or from the pattern paper itself. So that's pretty much my card. As I mentioned, we will leave a link down below to the blog with all the measurements and everything else. If you like what you saw today, hit the little like and subscribe button, hit the little bell, and you will get notified of whenever we upload our next video. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.